Woo! Hello, everybody, and happy International Women's Day. Um, I'm so happy to be here with all of you. And special thanks to Forte Foundation for inviting me. This session, it's about career and how to avoid some common pitfalls of high achievers, and we'll go over some key areas of focus that will hopefully help you reinvent yourself and create unstoppable career growth now that we are in the age of AI. So, whether you're working for a company, starting your own business, or considering what your future might look like the next 5, 10 years, my hope is to share some useful information that will make you think, reflect, and ideally take action. So let's go. So, what will you do differently in 2025 to nurture your career? One, just being here is a first step. Just having this conversation about doing something differently and preparing for change. It's great. As humans, we don't really like change, yet it is unavoidable. So if you think about a time when you felt vulnerable, paralyzed, or out of control, it was probably due to a change, whether planned or unplanned. Now, 5 years ago, that change was COVID. It changed the way that we work, how we learn, how we interact with each other. And just 5 years ago this month, we were on lockdown. It's hard to believe, right? And today, the big change is artificial intelligence. AI will change the way that we work, how we learn, and how we interact with each other. So we can get excited about new jobs, new career opportunities that AI will bring in the future. But today, 4 out of 5 people are not thriving at work. We've got RTO mandates, promotion freezes, layoff fears. 35% of you out there are considering a job change in 2025, whether that's planned or unplanned, right? And some of you on this call, you don't really believe that your job or career will be impacted in the immediate future. And others, you see what's happening, but you've not yet taken any significant action. So, how do we get ready for what's next? So, before I go further, let me introduce myself properly. I'm Michelle Bozeman, and I believe that clarity and purpose and core values are the key to career success and longevity. I'm a former AWS executive with 30 years of IT and professional services experience, helping customers transform their business. And yes, I said 30. I've been saying 25 plus for the longest. And I said, you know what? It's been 30 years, right? I've worked through major events and disruptions, including Y2K, a financial crisis, cloud computing, COVID, and I continue to work with customers on digital transformation and AI readiness. But I'm also really passionate about helping women move to senior and executive levels, having built and run programs that have launched and accelerated the careers of hundreds of women in tech at both Microsoft and AWS. I always keep an open door to mentoring and coaching others at all career stages. And this passion led me to starting my own company, TBW Enterprises, where we focus on helping high achievers get clarity on their purpose and core values to achieve big goals and build dream careers. And we do that through one-on-one coaching for those who demonstrate adaptability, ownership, and commitment to leap forward to senior and executive roles. So, why do I call out adaptability, ownership, and commitment? because those have emerged as non negotiable and highly valued for organizations looking to hire the best. There's good reason for that. These go beyond your knowledge and skill set and speak to your ability to manage whatever's thrown at you. And that's what great companies are looking for. This is great for them. But it's also good for you as you grow your career. Adaptability allows you to navigate uncertainty, see challenges as opportunities, and take some risk. And ownership is never saying, well, that's not my job. And commitment is, our committed employees, they invest their best effort in talent in their work and they're highly motivated. And I know this describes a lot of you guys on the call today. That's why you're here. But here's the thing, even the most capable can feel disengaged and not energized at work. You may feel left behind, especially as you scroll LinkedIn. You're going to see tons of new job announcements from colleagues, former classmates, saying, hey, I got this new position. And you're going to wonder, why is that not happening for me? How am I going to get my dream job? And you might feel stuck. You're talented, you work hard, you want more, but it's not happening for you right now. And you may be distracted by internal or reorganization, office drama, layoff fears, negativity in the workplace. So, what's keeping you stuck? So, to break free from all of that, the stagnation, and unleash your career growth superpowers, we first have to understand some behaviors and attitudes that might be holding you back. So, I've got some top reasons that I've heard from people that I've coached, mentored, and worked with over the years. By far, they're not the only ones, but these are my top ones that really mean something to me and a lot of people that I've worked with. Trying to do it all. This is a real pitfall for high achievers. We've all heard the saying, work smarter, not harder. It's easier said than done, right? A client came to me super frustrated that she wasn't getting promoted fast enough. And she was a typical high performer, the resident problem solver, taking on multiple projects, handling her team, customer escalation, stretch assignments. She rarely said no. Working hard and being that trusted go-to person had previously gotten her top tier performance reviews and one promotion. But now in that higher level, the returns are diminished. Being talented in multiple areas and always taking on assignments, she was wearing herself out. And her manager found that her hard work was super valuable, but he didn't see her in a strategic leadership role. And her plate was always so full that she rarely had time to break free of this pattern of trying to do it all. This is the classic case of what got you here won't get you there. So if that sounds like you and you're frustrated, you put a thumbs up or something in the chat, a +1 in the chat, because I know this probably sounds like a lot of folks. The next one is limiting yourself. This is when we are our own worst enemy. Limiting yourself keeps you stuck. And are you counting yourself out before others can? Have you ever looked at a job description and said, I'm not qualified for that. If I just had more training, a certification, more experience, then I'd be ready. Well, I'm going to share a little bit of data with you. So we often hear that men are more likely to apply when they meet just 60% of the qualifications, and women apply to jobs when they meet closer to 100%. That is actually not accurate. It's more like 52% for men and 55.7% for women. And this is according to a study in 2022. It's much closer than we think. And by the way, that's good news. I share that Because it's not helpful for us to believe that women would behave much differently than men or have that much less confidence. We are closing that gap. Um, we want to put this stat to bed, right? So think big and don't count yourself out of the game. Now, the third one, this one, this one I've been guilty of too. High achievers are very accustomed to working independently. So when you're feeling uncertain or unclear, the last thing you want to do is share that vulnerability with others. So by keeping everything to yourself, thinking that I've got to do it all myself and not ask for help, that leads to isolation and stress. So you've got to let go of that memory of you getting burned on the group assignment in school. High achievers stayed up all night trying to complete the project while everybody else went out to the movies. Let it go. Delegate, collaborate, get help. You got to let go of that faulty thinking because asking for help does not make you look weak or incompetent. Often we can't see behind the curtain, but when it's pulled back, you're going to find for these successful people, you're going to find their sponsors, their mentors, career advocates are all contributing to the success of a rising star. So, what can we do that's positive, that moves us in the right direction and helps us combat some of these bad behaviors and habits that we have that are holding us back? This one, getting clear on your purpose and core values. This is really important for the high achieving Swiss Army knives out there. You got to take a step back and examine what's important. What are your core values? What gives you a sense of purpose? This is much deeper than a job description or a title. Your core values are what you stand for. They guide your behaviors, your decisions, and your actions, and they can take some deep work to uncover. For me, I know my core values are creativity, responsibility, ownership, and collaboration. And I get a sense of purpose helping others achieve more and be a better version of themselves. In order for you to find out what that is, it can take some deep work and thought. Studies show that when you get clear in these areas, that one, you can achieve career advancement 41% faster. You get into the C suite at a 33% higher rate than those that don't, and you're 57% less likely to experience prolonged unemployment. That right there tells you this work is important. So, how do you get started? And it's going to give you three questions that you can ask yourself. And by far, this isn't the only way that you can do it, but these are my suggestions. One is ask yourself what activities or tasks make you feel most alive and fulfilled. Reflect on moments when you felt really engaged and energized. What were you doing? Right? And what are those non negotiables? Consider what principles or values you hold dear and would not compromise on, even in the most challenging situations. And the big one, what impact do you want to have on the world? What legacy do you want to leave behind? What kind of difference do you want to make? It's going to help you get, to that those core values and your purpose. Another thing to focus on here is embracing a growth mindset. Now, the term growth mindset hopefully is familiar to you. It came from work by Carol Dweck as she examined how students learned. Those with a fixed mindset avoided challenges, gave up easily, were afraid of failure, and looking like they didn't know something. Um, it starts with the idea that you're born with a certain amount of intelligence and looking smart is more important than actually learning. So people with that fixed mindset, they're afraid of being found out. They aren't, they're afraid of being found out. They aren't really as smart as people think they are. right? So, in contrast, if you possess a growth mindset, you see challenges as opportunities and you might embrace risk taking. And you know that it's okay to be seen trying. In the business world, that becomes critical to success. In fact, Microsoft introduced this concept in 2014 when Satya Nadella became the CEO. He sought to make the company a learn it all company versus a know it all company. So, without that learning attitude, you can't innovate. And likewise, your career growth will suffer. In other words, just do it scared, right? So, how do you practice that? Here's 3 tips. You can embrace challenges as opportunities for learning and growth. Instead of avoiding something that's difficult, approach it with enthusiasm and a willingness to learn. Change your perspective on failure. Failing is not a reflection on your abilities. It's how we learn. The more you fail, the more you know. And adopt, this is my favorite one, just adopt a yet mentality. So replace that fixed mindset phrase, I can't do this, with I can't do this yet. It's a simple reframe that will help retrain your brain. So, lastly, um, you got to engage your network. This is critical for career growth. Our high achievers are tempted to go it alone. But this is where I'm going to challenge you. Engaging your network isn't about collecting connections on LinkedIn. You have to actually engage them. It's a daily practice. Your goal is to create an army of career advocates that can support and speak for you when you are not in the room. People should be thinking about you all the time, right? This it just amplifies, right, your impact. So, how do you do that? Check in on connections that are both inside and outside of your current company. In addition to reaching out to people you know, make sure you're providing value and supporting others. This is where helping others without needing anything, wanting anything is gonna bring that goodwill and karma back to you. I truly believe in that. When you provide value to others, it does come back to you. You also have to realize that nobody does it alone, right? We hear people kind of singularly. You hear about a Bill Gates or Steve Jobs. None of them did what they did alone. Ask any senior leader, and they will rattle off the people who helped them along the way. Ask the person who was last promoted. They had advocates at the leadership table that were supporting their candidacy. The person who announced their new job at Google knew somebody at Google, and that person put forth their resume and vouched for them and gave them the inside track. So you cannot afford to not have people in your corner. And lastly, you must take some action. I'm hoping a lot of you are just nodding your heads and saying, yes, I agree with everything you've said. But the one thing that will set you apart from 95% of the people on this call and outside is taking action. Most of us know exactly what to do, or we know something to do that will make us successful. But for some reason, we just don't do it. We make to do lists. We say we're too busy. And who would challenge that? Our peers, our manager, they're okay with our career status quo as long as we're delivering the work. So, one professional development strategy that helps people move forward with accountability is hiring a coach. The best athletes have coaches, and so do senior leaders and executives. Now, a lot of people don't know the difference between a mentor, a sponsor, a coach. Isn't it all the same? Um, think of a coach as someone to help you work through obstacles, achieve your goals, and unlock your potential. They're not just going to give you advice, they're going to help dive into your motivations, they're going to challenge you, and they're going to hold you accountable to move forward. So, again, if you believe that the most successful people are doing it alone, think again. The higher up you go, the lonelier it can be. And most folks do have a coach. I've been really fortunate to have had some very good coaches in the past 10 years, and I remain connected, very connected to them, no matter where I am or what I'm doing professionally. So, with that, I want to share with you a little offer. So, at TBW, coaching is the foundation of our business. As I mentioned before, we help high achievers gain clarity and purpose and vision to build the career of their dreams. And we only work with clients who have the adaptability, strong ownership, and commitment to leap forward. So for attendees today, I'm offering a complimentary coaching session that you can sign up for right now using the QR code. Um, and hopefully you can all get to that. If you can't for some reason, I will try to put the URL in the chat. That works as well. But my ask is if you sign up, find a slot and sign up, that you come prepared to discuss, one, where are you stuck? And then what goal do you want to achieve in the next 6 months? This is really important for you to think about, that future vision that you have for yourself, so that we can begin working on it. So I look forward to seeing some of you on these calls. And again, I want to really thank the Forte Foundation for inviting me, and happy International Women's Day. I'll check the comments and see. There we go. Yes, thanks for sharing the URL. Awesome. And hey, Elizabeth. Awesome. Thanks, everybody.